What's up, gang? Hope you're having a great week. It's Friday. Hope you get ready for a great weekend, too. So, question today is addressing the Yankees this offseason. What have they learned? What are they learning from this season? And how can they take that into the offseason and address a lot of needs? Because the fact is, there's not one player that's going to change the fortune of the franchise. Soto, Ohtani, Bellinger, not one of them is going to put them over the top. Those guys are icing, finishing, players. Again, to go along with other players that they need to get. Like when the Yankees had their big offseason in 2009, they addressed hitting and pitching, starting, bullpen. They addressed a lot of areas. So they complemented each other. And this is the same type of attack that I think the Yankees need to pursue this offseason. They also, I think are hinging on a little bit of luck too. What do I mean by that is, Bill, are all the kids that they have, this youth movement that so many people wanted and pined for and asked for, are all the kids for real is the question. Are they all going to pan out? And if not, do they make trades and or even signings in free agency to either offset that or to complement it? Because this is the first time that the Yankees have had a depth in positional players in a while. But the fact is, the other positional players from Miguel Andujar to Clint Frazier and some of these other folks, they didn't pan out. And we don't know whether these guys are going to pan out either. So having depth, incredible depth, reliable depth, whether it be pitching or hitting, and guys with clean track records, you know, because of the philosophical change that the Yankees undergone with analytics and Dylan Lawson and like there's a lot of things that they need to change. And the fact is they do have some dangerous hitters, but they're not great hitters. There's a difference, okay? Dangerous hitters like Stanton, if he hits the ball. This is why we keep saying that they need more contact hitters because they tend to put the ball in play more often. Okay, and they slump less often. They slump for shorter periods of time, and they give guys like the power hitters and the dangerous hitters more opportunities to capitalize because pitchers have to pitch to them in a way to prevent all these contact hitters from getting on base. So, no matter what the Yankees do, if they're gonna trade for Soto, they got to trade for Soto and bring in somebody like Candelario and bring in somebody like Bellinger or Lee from South Korea and address pitching with Yamamoto. It can't be just Soto, okay? He moves the needle, but he's only one player in one position, just like Ohtani, okay? He's one player, yet he does two positions, but only does them once. He can't pitch and hit at the same time. So the moves have to be complementary of each other, and they have to be numerous for the Yankees. So if the Yankees are making moves this offseason, they have to make the right moves. And the right moves aren't always the most expensive contract, the biggest signing, like Rodon. They just brought a Rodon by himself. It wasn't enough, clearly, and he didn't do enough so far. So Rodon and another pitcher would have probably been a better idea. Or Cole, when they brought him in, Cole's been worth every freaking penny that the Yankees paid for him. Love the guy. But it would have been nice if they had Cole and another pitcher. Okay? Just like this offseason. If they get Yamamoto and another pitcher would be better. Whether it's Yamamoto and a trade for or another starter or getting Michael King a shot in the rotation, like I mentioned yesterday. Like there has to be a twofold thing, and you need another one or two bullpen pieces. Like the moves that they make this offseason need to be, this offseason and next offseason need to be complementary, need to be sequential, right? Whether it's two moves now or one move this offseason and one move next offseason. They've got to prepare for years ahead in case things don't always work out. Because the chances of Dominguez and Spencer Jones and Pereira and Volpe and Peraza and these other guys all work and Austin Wells all working out are not that great. Okay, you get a couple in the workout, sure. Volpe's got to cut down on strikeouts. He's got to build on his good rookie season. Okay, he's got to have better contact rate too. He's aggressive, yes, and he's shown the ability to get to the friggin' ball shortstop, yes. But he's got to cut down on his shortstops. He needs to complement, keep developing as a hitter, just like Oswald Peraza does. Yes, he's a whiz at shortstop, but he needs his hitting to catch up to his defense. Whiz at any position defensively. So, and that's a special talent that Oswald Peraza has. He needs to back it up with his bat now. Okay. We need, if Austin Wells is going to be here, we need him to continue to develop too. Like his approach, like his and I don't know if these guys would have, flourished this much over Dylan Lawson. And maybe that's a reason why some of these guys weren't called up early, because they would have been working with Dylan Lawson, who, the pull the ball in the air philosophy did not really pan out that well. Okay, for the Yankees, we need guys to hit for contact. We need guys to hit in the gaps, opposite way, and pull. And we don't have that right now. Okay, so the moves that the Yankees make this offseason have to be smart and calculated. And again, you get Soto and Bellinger, great. Okay, but that's not enough. Even if you're surrounding Judge with both of them, that's great. It's awesome. It's a step in the right direction. Yes, doesn't solve the pitching problem. Just like pitching doesn't solve the hitting problem. You can get Yamamoto and Aaron Nola here, or whoever you get here, doesn't solve the hitting problem, and vice versa. So Yankees need to have an all-encompassing philosophy, and that includes getting better. We talked about this too, whether it be training staff or medical staff or player development personnel, to allow these kids to develop better in the system and be more prepared for the majors. And that's just another frustrating issue where you guys are hitting 300 and killing the ball in the minors, but they're keeping it there for 3-4 years. They're slugging the ball, and by the time they get to the majors, they're either not playing consistently, so you never see that type of stuff, or they've lost their trade value. And this is why it's important to, when you have a boatload of prospects at a certain position, you can trade some of them. If they're killing the ball in the minors, but they're blocked at a position, they have trade value. So trade them for a player to address a hole that you don't have currently. This is where the Yankees need to get better too. Knowing when to identify the prospects as whether they're ready for the majors, or whether we need to trade this guy. Like, we have 7 guys at shortstop. We don't need that many. You can trade a couple guys, okay? So, especially if you have a couple of them who are versatile, like you have Volpe now who's short, Peraza, no matter what, they're second or third or whatever, second and shortstop. You have 2 positions filled in the infield, probably for the next decade. So you don't need 7 shortstops. Like, they have Dominguez, they have Spencer Jones, they have Elijah Dunham, you have all these other outfielders, Tyler Hardman for the infield. Like, at some point, they got to figure out, there's going to be a logjam for years here. So maybe we can move on and trade him for a pitcher that we don't have, that we need. So the Yankees need to get better at not only that, running a smarter business, right? And running it more effectively, more efficiently, so they can take advantage of opportunities here that they're not taking advantage of. So, yes, so like we want Yamamoto, absolutely, and we hope they get him. But they've got multiple holes that need addressing, whether it be now, whether it be over the next couple off seasons, and they need to continue to develop prospects. Okay, and need to know when to keep the prospects and figure out whether they're going to be the real deal, or trade them when they have trade value, or trade players like Gleyber Torres when they have trade value, or just give him an extension. And don't wait for him to become too expensive. Okay, don't be afraid to give him an extension a couple seasons early. Say, we're going to lock up this guy now because we love him and want to keep him. Well, do it. So you're not having to pay an extra $80 million or $100 million for an extension, right? So there's so many different areas that the Yankees can improve, and they don't have to improve all of them at once, but we need to see that they're working to improve them gradually over time. Okay, whether it's sequentially or step by step or whatnot, we need to see the steps in the right direction. Okay, and again, whether it be training staff, medical staff, coaches. Okay, I like the Sean Casey transition from Dylan Lawson. It's a better approach here. Hopefully, when he has a full season with some of these guys, they're able to actually take an approach or develop an approach with a guy who was a good left-handed major league hitter, who knew how to hit the ball in both directions. Maybe that can infuse his wisdom in some of these players. Volpe should be able to hit the ball in both directions. So should Peraza. So should Austin Wells. So should some of these other guys. So should Jason Dominguez, which he's already shown the ability to do. So whether they keep Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez in the outfield, or both, and don't trade for Soto, that's got to be a decision that the Yankees have to be willing to make, but know why they're making it. okay? And it seems like they need a better understanding of these components so they can become a much more structurally sound and functionally competent organization. But let me know what you think, because these are the types of things that are, as fans, we play mock GM. And we're always thinking about this type of stuff. I'm going to continue to talk about this stuff. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're not done that yet, okay? I want you to take part in these conversations. And I don't want you to miss any good conversations. And I want to know what your insights are, okay? And your perspectives are. We elevate the conversation when we talk together. So when we have these live streams, and even in the comments, we have dialogue back and forth in the comments, which is welcome information, a welcome back and forth. And we are approaching 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to get that before the end of the season. So your support's greatly appreciated. It means the world. But it's this type of stuff. And the fact is the Yankees have a lot of holes, not only player holes, but front office and player development holes. There's a lot of holes that they need to fill, okay? No matter how many audits they have or whatever, the fans can tell them too. Like there's certain things that we could see with our own eyes that, yeah, they need to get better in this, they need to get better in that area. Well, I mean, most fans will be able to rip off 4 or 5 different areas where they need to get better and be able to credibly explain why, okay? So let's please make the right moves this offseason. What are the right moves? It's up to you to decide. Okay? It's up to you to figure, like, honestly, like, it might be wise for me to think from a fan's perspective on occasion too, you know? And not only your shareholders, not only the big money people like Randy Levine. Okay? You got a lot of wise fans, a lot of opinionated fans because they're wise fans. And it would be wise to maybe listen on occasion. Okay? Which I get, you're not obligated to. I get it, but as fans are asking you to, we do feel it will be wise to do. But making the right moves, I'll say it again, this offseason will set you up much better for the next couple of seasons. So have a great week, everybody. Talk to you next time.